What are you doing? You got 2 yards of mulch in the 78 and can't even tell that it's in there. The way it drives and with the timbrins, you can't even tell. Was driving on the way to get the mulch. I was getting gas, you know, normal stuff, and I opened the hood. I was like, I'll check the oil. It burned some oil, leaks it, and I saw a fluid everywhere. I didn't know what it was. Well, it ended up being oil, and then I inspected it a little bit more, and there is a hole in the side of the valve cover on the passenger side. So that's awesome. About 15 years ago, or 10,000 miles ago, when I first got it, some of the rocker arm lock nuts came loose. It was on this side. So I'd take the valve covers off then, tighten them, and then I ended up replacing 1 or 2 of those lock nuts because they just wouldn't lock anymore. Then about 2 months ago, or 2,000 miles ago, I took both valve covers off and I adjusted all of the valves. So that's the last thing I did with this, and I replaced the gaskets, and now we got a problem. We just drove about 1,500 miles with the camper on its back. So, I mean, something's working. It's just, maybe it's stressing it out and it loosens stuff up. Who knows? But we're gonna have to take it apart. I might just weld that hole shut. So right here's the hole in the side of the valve cover, and the viewers and all of us are gonna see what's underneath the valve covers for the first time. I don't know. I just got the bolts off. So let's uncover this and see how bad it is, if it's anything that we can even see. I'm thinking either a valve or something, push rod broke or something's flying around in there. Well, nothing's flying around. The rocker arms are wearing grooves into the valve cover. I don't think it's supposed to be that close of a fit. But the good thing is that's an extremely easy problem to fix. There is no problem. But I'll tell you what, there's cracks everywhere. And then this is the one with the hole right here. That's the first step. You can really see the cracks now. What we got is, here's a version of a very, very, very thin metal that's cracked, that's about to break through like it did over here. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a weld to the outside to reinforce it. But the key is to not burn through it, which is not easy to do because all we have is a stick welder. So that's, you know, not the best welder for this job, but I have a 3/32 inch rod, welding rod, 6013 rod, and this is obviously not, you know, we're not worried about strength here. Sleeper Dude Special, flip flops welding. He's afraid of the welder. Got all of these welded up. I did not have JV weld, so that's why I'm using normal weld. I used a different method on this last one. I kind of was just scratching the rod, welding rod over it, and I kind of built it up a little bit better because I kept like this and I burned a ton of holes. I had to really build it up. So I'm gonna take this flap disc, or maybe even a grinding wheel, and grind that off. Okay, we got a little update here on the valve cover for the 78. It's a 1984 engine, by the way, 350. For all the new viewers, go back and you can see the videos. But what I ended up doing was, because I didn't have JB Weld yesterday, I ended up trying to stick weld it, which I'm not gonna say, oh, what was I doing? Look what I just did, dummy. Hold on, let me fix that. Okay, a little bit of ether on a rag, got that cleaned up. Back to what I was saying. So, the inside, let's try not to do this again. The inside, the welds burned through, both burned holes through and got weld boogers on the inside. and obviously I couldn't have anything on the inside because that's where it was making contact. So I took a grinder tool, deburr. I bought this grinding stone and also a deburr carbide one, but the grinding stone worked better to get into that corner there. After I did the dressing up of on the outside with the grinder, you could see little gas pockets, little holes still. So I just did a full JB weld patch on all of it, like I probably should have from the get-go. So I got the valve cover here, and I was just trying to figure out why that they're wearing through, and there was a suggestion that I got that the valve covers are on backwards. So it's a possibility, I don't know. Now I look at it, and when it's on a flat surface, this is pretty flat, and there's a sharper angle here and a less steep angle there. This is where it's wearing through. It might work better, I don't know, but I'm gonna go look at the fire truck that has a it has a crate motor in it, but it's a 350 Chevy. Yeah, see, I bet you it's on backwards because that's the less steep one and this is the steeper one. So if I just put this valve cover on 180 degrees, it's gonna fix the problem. Cool, I don't even have to look at it. I'm just gonna put it on this way. So this is how it was on. That's how it always was on. Now I'm gonna put it on like this. See how it works. I'll show you. Let's check out the old 79. Got the hood up. Let's see what this thing's got for valve cover orientation. It's kind of hard to see. Got all this stuff in the way. The steeper, more 90-degree bend goes towards the intake. Pretty sure that's what's going to be over here too. Yep, that's it. So the steeper, more 90-degree flange is on the intake side, and the less steep side is on the exhaust side. So my dad was right, they're on backwards. Maybe I did put them on backwards, I don't know. Well, at least the one on the passenger side. I have to go back and watch an old video, but let's flip that thing and hopefully it won't have any more holes in the valve cover. So I was wrong, I reviewed a video from 13 years ago. So sometime between now and 13 years ago, I put that valve cover on backwards. Oh well, fix it, move on. Give a little Chevy engine orange. It's always fun opening a Summit order. Thank you for your order. What'd we get? Figured it was a good time to do this. So we got new spark plugs and new wires. They're 8mm Street Thunders. It's just a kit. So they should have everything I need ready to go. And we're gonna replace this mess of wiring. Because the cool thing is those wires that I just bought are designed to go under the headers. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's a mess right now. I mean, this is what it looks like with the valve cover on, and this is the clean side. And the plugs are pretty rusted. They're not that old. They're kind of old, but there's not that many miles on them. Probably 5,000 to 8,000 miles, but they're all rusted out. So I'm just replacing them. Got the old plugs out. And like I said, they got about 8,000 miles on them. These were the plugs that were installed after the half rebuild that I did on the engine. Probably 10 to 12 years ago now. But about 8,000 miles ago. You can go back videos and see what I did there. But anyway, we got cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Any professionals out there, let me know how these look. These to me look okay, just from what I've seen in the past. This bank doesn't seem as nice. This is cylinder 1. 3 is a lot more brown, and 5 has more deposits on it, and so does 7. So let me know, anybody out there has got more experience than I do. They don't look terrible in my opinion. I mean, obviously something. It's not perfect, but it's working. We put new plugs in it, and you keep going. But if someone can tell me if that's oil burning, I think that's what that is, because it does burn oil, and the water level doesn't really go down too much. So I don't think it's burning water, but someone will know. Let me know in the comments what you think about what this is telling you on how the engine's running for what the plugs look like. That would be appreciated. Okay, got the job done. Check out how much cleaner the top of this engine is before and after with the wires underneath the headers. And now that that valve cover's flipped this way, and you can see all my JB Weld schmutzies, I painted it. It actually doesn't look that bad. But let's, I mean, this isn't for an award, you know, best of show here. This is functional. Here's the startup with new plugs and wires. The plugs are AC Delco. They're 5, so I think they're 1 step hotter than what was in there. They were 4s in there, same brand, but I don't know. I never really had a problem with the plugs. They're just older, so I figured I'd try the. You know, I just figured I'd replace them. We got the new wires from Taylor, and we changed that valve cover around, so hopefully it's a little less noisy with that valve tick that I always thought it had. But it's just been hitting the valve cover the whole time. So let's get her started. Let's see what it's like. Oh yeah, that's a lot quieter. Tank just came out of the woodwork. What are you doing, Tank? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, good boy. So, got back from a test drive with this thing. It is running on 7 cylinders. There's a miss every once in a while. Something is up. And all I did was change the plugs and the wires, so I did something wrong. There is one that's being burned against the header, but the old wires were also burned like that. So, and I didn't have a miss like this. So something's up. Like I said, it's an intermittent miss. So hopefully it misses here in the driveway. But I'm going to pop all of these plug wires off the distributor and just rest them back on there loosely, and then lift them up one by one and see which cylinder will make it not change, and that's the one that's missing. So now all the plug wires are just loosely on the distributor. Let's see if it starts and runs. I'll lift up each of them. I figured it out that I'm pretty sure it's that plug that does not make any change when I unhook them all. So, guess what? I looked up the firing order, and that should be cylinder 3, which is the one that I suspect is hitting the header right there. Here's the difference. New plug wire. It obviously burned through and shorted out. That's what was going on. The old plug wire was burned, but it never actually shorted out. And I actually replaced the plug wires once in this truck years ago. And I had to reuse this one because I probably had the exact same problem. So, yeah, there you go. That's what happened. I'm going to put this one back on and see if it fixes the problem. I mean, it's been running a long time with that burned end. I don't know. I know they make boots, but man, that spark plug is just so close. It's so close to that header. I don't know if they make a different thing or what, but I'm putting this one on. So I just changed out this one spark plug wire, and I routed it the way it used to be over everything because that's the way it fits. So I had to go through and re-zip tie all the zip ties so that stuff doesn't burn against the header like I had it before. So just got that done. Takes a little time. Now I'm going to put the air cleaner on it and go for a test drive and see if it fixes it. I need to put the air cleaner on.